I had an experience with the Redemptorists growing up. I lived very close to the Redemptorist monastery. We're Redemptorists, we're a religious order. So I grew up close to that monastery. I was involved as an altar server. I was involved in youth groups. We have a secondary school down there in Limerick that I attended. So my connection grew out of that. It grew out of also my family's connection with the Redemptorists in a voluntary capacity with the church. And it was something I thought about when I was in school. I was advised by a wise Redemptorist not to consider to go and study and live my life. And I did that. And I went and I worked in electronics, and it was always there in the back of my mind, sort of nagging me. And I decided, you know, if I don't at least entertain this idea, maybe I'll regret it.
So you went and lived a bit.
And I went and I decided in 2000 to give it a try.
Yeah. And Tony, you were in banking, and again, was it the same path, roughly speaking?
Sort of, yeah. Like service, I suppose, was always part of what I've done. You know, I was a volunteer in the parish, in the youth club, did a lot of cross-community ministry also. I worked in a supermarket for a few years, which for me was about serving people. Worked in the bank, which was about serving people. But then whenever my job stopped being about serving people and came about selling things to people, then that really made me think, this isn't it. This is not what I wanted. Okay, and can I ask you how old you are? What age group you're?
I just turned 30.
Congratulations.
31.
And hard luck. Brian?
31.
31, Tony?
31.
Okay, so you're all, you know, young men. Certainly in my world you are. And that's fine. With that in mind, for a lot of men of your age and my age watching tonight, they'll say that the biggest problem will be celibacy, sex, girls, etc., or boys, whatever you're having yourself. What was that a tricky? No, I mean, was that going to be? Did you have girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever, growing up?
Well, I suppose like going to college.
In your 20s and whatever.
Yeah, I did 3 or 4 years in university. Now I have to say I was no Tiger Woods. But yeah, like growing up, we had a very normal upbringing, the whole lot of us, and you know, involved in all the things that anyone would be involved in.
So the point is, you had girlfriends or
course,
whatever. Did you all have relationships?
Absolutely. Some more successful than others.
Not anything serious.
Well, that's the other. Were any of you in love?
I'd say you can never give up on love. I'd say I'd been in love before, and probably throughout the rest of my life, it'll.
But you say you fell in love before. Would you say you were in love at some stage, Tony?
Probably in love with the idea of being in love.
Did you think you were in love with a human being? Seriously?
Jesus Christ is love for me.
Is it?
Yeah, and I don't mean that in any kind of a trite answer.
I appreciate that. No, that's...
But I have a personal relationship with God.
Yeah.
You know, and that obviously it's a little bit hard to imagine, but I live a life of love with the people I live and the people I minister with, and a lot of people love me, and I'm so thankful for that.
That covers that angle. But from what I gather from a lot of people who join the seminary, you might be in a class of 10, for example, and maybe 6 will drop out, and you'll end up officiating at their weddings because essentially they had these urges to have relations with other people. That's gone for you now. You're done.
Yeah, well, I'd say we choose celibacy. A lot of people choose life commitments, like marriage is a serious commitment as well. You choose one person, and that ideally is the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work out, you don't give up on love, you don't give up on marriage, but you still continue to have good friendships with people. And I think for ourselves, like I come from a large family of 5 sisters, 3 brothers,
yes,
and I'd always be used to having people around me. And I know that friendship is going to be an essential part of my life and needs to be an essential part of all our lives.